Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Hunterman, and this is going to be more of Euro Truck Simulator 2. It is a different day, and in fact, a different week. I will not be listening to music for a little while. I'm going to be listening to some news. I hope you don't mind. So, trigger warning for the news if you're watching now or later on YouTube. I will stop if chat speaks up and wants to hang out or otherwise. Understand that Hurricane Ian is going to be hitting South Carolina probably during the course of this stream. Well, maybe not during the course of the stream actually, but it's already begun getting really windy here. It's 400 or 500 miles away, and we're already getting hit with super like weather bands and stuff. And I'm very concerned for my little sister Shenanigans, who is down in Charleston, that the hurricane that is now back to being a hurricane category 1, new category 1 from a few years ago, is directly where it's going to land. Expected is landfall. I'm going to be listening to the news from this week, starting with September the 26th, 2022, which would be Monday. I haven't listened to any news this week. Unless chat speaks up and wants to interact, that is what I am doing. And I'm going to hit play now. I mean, I'm going to hit play twice, but I'm still going to hit play. Check my audio levels. Everything seems fine. Alright, we're doing this. I've just picked up my delivery. Near the end, we're going to have a couple of...
Alright, William Church, Jake, Jessica...
Oh my god, that audio. We're going to be going off to hit a couple of cities and question marks that I haven't achieved already.
Are we going to take stories to the bank?
We're going to take it to the bank.
Yes, we are. So, on top of that...
So, right, trigger warning for the news.
I'm just absolutely loving this today's
if
show.
chat wants to speak up and wants me to turn off the news, just say something. Otherwise, I've got a bit of a sore throat.
A surprising source.
Not enough that I wouldn't be talking to you on stream, but enough that
enjoy that story.
I'm not going to, with the intention of playing for a few hours tonight, I'm not going to push myself if I don't have to. And I want to invite you to talk, maybe interact with the news.
Let's share some details out of what is going on in Arizona. So on Friday, a judge lifted a decades-old injunction, which had blocked an anti-abortion rights law dating back to 1864, before Arizona was even established as a state and allowed the ban to be enforced. Pima County Superior Court Judge Kelly Johnson said in her ruling that Roe v. Wade, the 1973 U.S. Supreme Court ruling which affirmed the constitutional right to abortion care, had been the basis for barring the 1864 law from being enforced. But since Roe was overturned in June, she said that the injunction should be annulled. Reporting from Common Dreams, Johnson's decision will unleash a near-total abortion ban in Arizona, said Planned Parenthood of Arizona.
Didn't they just pass a pro-abortion law in Arizona?
Pregnancies result from rape or incest. Under the law, anyone who helps a pregnant person obtain abortion care can be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison. The law does include an exemption for medical emergency, according to the New York Times, but as Common Dreams has reported, such an exemption in practice has already resulted.
I wasn't paying attention to whether that was a two-way stop or not.
A non-viable pregnancy until her health was deemed sufficiently in danger before a doctor provided care. Governor Doug Ducey has said that the 15-week ban he signed in March would supersede the century-old ban. But Attorney General Mark Brnovich, a fellow Republican, has argued that the older ban should take precedence. Mr. Brnovich filed the motion to vacate the injunction from 1973.
Wouldn't it be
he went on to say, the Attorney General
against
Brnovich,
the law because the laws preceded the state?
Continue to protect the most vulnerable Arizonans. Arizona remains one of the most pro-life states in the country. Reporting from the New York Times says women seeking abortions had already been traveling from Arizona to New Mexico, California, and Nevada amid the legal turmoil that erupted in Arizona after Roe was struck down. And providers say they anticipated those waves would now swell. So, Jank, what do you make of this? This law is from 1864, and it's taking precedent over laws that were passed in March.
Yeah, well, okay, I have two different opinions, Jessica, depending on the issue. Okay, so because there are two different issues in this case. One is the law, and the other is policy. How do we feel about it? Legally, I I don't think that they're wrong. I think that probably the 1864 law does apply, and so and it was reaffirmed in 1907, as I we clarified, and it was codified. So, but
Keep right
now in this
and then turn right.
new post Roe world, well, it's our job to defeat them. And so now the great majority of people in Arizona, as well as the rest of the country, are pro-choice, and they're very, very clear about that. But sad day, if right now the Republicans in Arizona say, "Oh no, we love it. We want these barbaric laws that the people of Arizona do not want." Well, then, in a functioning democracy, what happens next is you vote them out and you put in people who agree with you. But if you don't, you got no one to blame other than yourself in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the voters in Arizona are pretty much in line with what you're saying. So there's a poll that's the Arizona Public Opinion Pulse. It's run by OH Predictive Insights. And according to the latest AZPOP, so Arizona Public Opinion Pulse survey, 52% of registered voters in Arizona oppose the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade. So that's not a huge majority, but it is a majority. They've basically said, we agree with the overturning of Roe when it comes to the Supreme Court.
I can never figure out when this game is supposed to have frame rate drops or not.
It suggests that maybe the folks that have been talking about states' rights so much actually got through, but it turns out the people within those states might be not on the side of the abortion ban. So the vast majority, 71% of voters in Arizona, oppose making abortion illegal. Voters either believe abortion should be legal and available, that's 39%, or that politicians should not be able to prevent someone from making that decision for themselves, that's the remaining 33%. It gets more interesting. So this polling was conducted by NARAL, and 9 in 10, so 90%, agree that each of us should have the freedom to decide how and when we start to grow a family, free from political interference. This includes every Democrat, 100%, along with 89% of independents and 82% of Republicans. 4/5, so that's 82%, agree that some kind of one-size-fits-all law won't work here, and people are making, personal medical decisions. Large majority of Democrats, so 91%, agree with this. 85% of independents, 74% of Republicans agree with this, as do 85% of white voters and 75% of Latinx voters. So this is super interesting, right? Because 52%, not a significant majority, saying they agree or they disagree with Roe being overturned. But a vast majority of people in Arizona believe this is a personal
Hello,
decision,
Captain Soja.
Right? We're the Republican Party.
Boo TYT. Alright, so you want me to turn TYT off? I can do that. I already said I would do what the chat wanted.
Turns out the majority of voters in Arizona
I haven't listened to the news this week, so
abortion ban, which is exactly what they're getting, Jank. So it goes back to what you're saying. If we really had a government,
if you're free, you could even jump in the Discord and we could actually chat. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, so this goes to further support what we've been saying on the show all along, which is number one, politics is all about branding and framing. So number two, that is why corporate Democrats doing such
Finished
a
dinner
terrible
first?
job of
Okay.
branding is really material to your rights, right? And
Well,
and American media
I'll go ahead and
framing
stop the news for you and anybody else right now if that's what the chat wants.
Really harmful.
I'll jump in the Discord server. I'll turn the music back on. When that... Oh, Where's my mini player? Properties. There we go. Oh. Turn off my little picture in picture while it is paused. I might come back to that later. Alright. So, I guess, change of topic. Oh, I need to get in the Discord. Whoops, forgot. Should have a little icon on screen. There we go. Alright. And whenever Captain Soja finishes dinner, you can jump into the audio. Dirty Jar Jam asks, is this game good? Depends on what you like. If you think that transporting goods by way of a truck, either in first person or third person over long distances, to make yourself a trucking empire, possibly go for achievements and whatnot, depending upon map progression and doing other things of that nature, then it's pretty good. If that sounds really boring to you, then it's not. Though I will say, if it does sound good to you, we're coming up on the time of year in which this game should go on sale at least twice more before the year is over. And so if you're not sure if you like it or not, at least in American dollars, it often goes on sale for like $5 and has a very cheap bundle or bundles associated with it. So there should be one around American Thanksgiving, and there should be one around Christmas. And possibly more than that. I've been having a pretty good time with it. It's not always my thing, but it is a very chill game. Occasional frame rate issues aside from me streaming. You can bump its visual quality up, so if you're in Europe, you're going to recognize some locations, and if you're not in Europe, you will get a feel for other countries' road layouts, as somewhat miniaturized as they are. I will say that even as I continue to not learn my geography properly, I am learning it better than I did in school. Rude. Please use the rightmost gate. I'm a little bit tired. That is my excuse for driving poorly right now. I think they want me to stop at the way station. Yeah, they want me to stop at the way station. Another thing I might say is if you ever played like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I think maybe possibly Grand Theft Auto 5, where there are trucking missions in the game for deliveries, and if you've just done those and had a good... Why am I not moving? I was just rocking back and forth. Had a good time doing it, that this is more of that. Seems like it could be fun. Well, it is really cheap on Steam. I don't have like a Steam link or anything like that, even though I really should. But like I said, it goes on sale very often. And you've got 2 more sales before the end of the year. Hello, Ratchet! I am on my way away from Istanbul, Turkey on a very long trip, going for 1 of 3 for an achievement. So we're going to be at this for this one trip for a little bit of time. I will also say, if you like Euro Truck Simulator 2, if you end up enjoying it, that more maps is more roads to travel, more content, but also that it is very similar to, and running off the same engine as, American Truck Simulator. So if you ever feel like you've run out of places to go and things to see, there's even more content in a different but fairly similar game. Like, very few differences between this game and that. They are running off, like I said, the same engine. They get updates about the same time. Their map expansions are alternating back and forth between each other.
Keep right, and then exit right.
With the exclusion that Russia didn't come out on time because Russia started a war with Ukraine.
Exit right.
Like, that DLC was about to launch.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Jeff?
Hello!
Alright, cool deal.
I hear you very softly. Let me check my audio levels real quick.
Could be me. I
Could be you.
can, yep. Let's see here.
Well, if you want to tweak yourself first before I do anything. Welcome, Captain Soja. Yeah, I already have you at 126% volume, so if you can tweak yourself up, please do that first.
Yep, me.
Okay. You hit yellow there, so we should be okay on that front.
Yep, here we go. Let's see. Device.
Alright, I'm gonna see that instead of the chat for a little bit just so I can glance over and see how it's doing.
There we go. Bump my mic volume just a little bit. That might have done it.
Okay, you're hitting yellow, just like I am, so we should be okay.
Alright, I adjusted my mic forward toward my mouth a little bit, so there we go.
Excellent, excellent.
Had to find the wireless adapter for the headset. I haven't used it in a bit.
Ah.
Oh man.
So that cult game, pretty good.
Hmm?
I said that cult game, pretty good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. Like a nice, very light roguelite. Roguelike.
Roguelike.
Roguelite.
Yeah, I've got a. I think completion is within sight. I just need to get a little bit more skilled doing the gold fleece. Which makes it so that.
You gotta do a gold fleece run, or?
Well, okay. There's a couple of achievements left that are like, whatever, no big deal. I just need to do them. Some of them are like sacrifice 10 followers. I'm like, I can do that last. Let's see. Actually, that's the standout one besides the three major ones. The three major ones are you have to defeat.
No hit.
Yeah, you have to defeat each of the 4 bosses without being hit. I defeated Leshy without getting hit. I think I did it on the first try, maybe the second try. Like, that's something that's pretty easy to do. But the thing about the Gold Fleece is you take double damage, but while you're taking double damage, first of all, you don't take any damage if you're not hit. But secondly, every enemy you kill is a percentage increase to how much damage that you're doing. So it's possible to take like an axe, or I'm not doing a hammer, but it's possible to take an axe. Not if I can help it. Hammer, worst weapon in the game. It's possible to take an axe and make it so that you can basically swing on the box like 6 or 7 times. So you don't even have to worry about dodging. Even though I think dodging is totally feasible for being able to beat the bosses without getting hit.
Yeah.
Though that third boss, whoo! Calamara? The one that's under this. Yeah, it's just that they have more attack capability than anybody else in the game, as far as I can tell, as any other boss, including the boss after them and the last boss, which is super crazy. But what it results in is there are several unsafe times to be in existence trying to dodge out of the way, and there's only a couple of openings to get hit, and if you don't get enough openings to get hit, he's populated the screen with so many minions that it becomes even harder to like dodge out of the way of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it really becomes like entropy style, like really, really tough to do. And I think I have, on my attempts, I've gotten really close 3, maybe 4 times, and that was without Gold Fleece. So I totally see it as possible. I just see it more likely as having the Gold Fleece, because if I don't get hit, that means I have to hit less, a lot less.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
ever decide when you're going to try to do the Phasmophobia?
I tagged a couple of people in Gathering Hub. Nobody responded. I'm not asking this weekend because of the hurricane,
Yeah, because it's going to be crazy.
but
May or may not have power.
yeah, I mean, I could lose power during this run. I don't know if I told people that when I started streaming, but it is possible. Wait, where's
Oh, it's
this?
not too bad right now.
It was surprisingly worse earlier.
Yeah, I was surprised at how, like, I could hear it whistling across the roof at work. And
Yeah, our
we're
our
on
pool
a quiet
got,
building, so
the pool out back got like full of debris, and Mom was like, "Tyler, how far away is this hurricane?" I was like, Orlando, Florida is like 530 miles from us, so 500 miles." And she was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
right, yeah, yeah, it's traveling a lot faster north than they'd originally planned. So, but it's
yeah,
also supposed to miss us at current. So
I
like,
wanna.
we might have a sunny day on Saturday, and I'm like, that's crazy.
I wanted to dissuade my mom from making comparisons to Sandy. I was like, "Mom, we were in Sandy. All right, it's not Sandy. Sandy was the convergence of 2 to 3 major storm cells all simultaneously."
Yeah, yeah. One of my wife's friends had 2 tornadoes go through her yard.
I assume they were small?
Uh,
Or how big is her
one-
yard?
I mean, it's Florida, so not a whole lot of yard.
Oh,
They
okay.
took out the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
One of them did. The other one, like, apparently plowed through the yard, took out the fence, scooped up the outside trampoline.
I remember
and apparently
Sandy was
destroyed her pool enclosure as well.
Go straight on.
I remember Sandy was a super adventure because like I got to hear all sides of Sandy. First
I
of
mean,
all,
Sandy was such a crazy deal because it was the first time we had a storm that big, in recorded history.
yeah, that combined with like because of the lack of historical precedent, but also the way it combined, the way they were like, "No, we gotta come up with a new naming convention. This is gonna get bad." And you know what? Climate change is gonna make this more frequent anyway. So let's just get on the ball. Superstorm. We're gonna call it Superstorm now
Yep.
instead of a post-tropical cyclone. That's what we originally went with. Post-tropical cyclone.
Yep. Doesn't sound scary enough for people to understand how bad it is.
Well, I mean, it's post-tropical. That means it's not as bad, right? That's what it sounds like.
Right?
But but there's
It's totally not apocalyptic.
there was a new highway being created in New York, and this is after I had been driving for a little bit and I had first gotten Waze. Shoutouts to Waze always while I'm playing Euro Truck Simulator 2. Waze works so well for me as far as like being able to know like cops are up ahead or being able to report accidents and being able to avoid things, check out for cars on the side of the road, yada yada stuff. So I'm looking at the map going, wait, we can go to the west. We don't have to go east because we're literally going home from New York while Sandy is going to hit. And I was like, if we do that, we're going to be going through Maryland when it's hitting land. Like, that is not okay. And so we went west in New York. I think it's Highway 90. I might be wrong on the number, but it goes far to the west, and it was only like relatively recently finished. And even saying that, it wasn't entirely finished. There were portions where like you leave the highway and you go onto like a side road and like a avenue somewhere else, and then you get back onto the highway in a few minutes, like down the road type deal. And it was pouring down. It was horizontal rain. We could feel the vehicle like, and this is the big Isuzu Trooper, right? This sucker is like being pushed while on the road. At the point at which we stopped for gas, Jeff like can't get out of the car, and he's like, "What the fuck? My door is jammed." And I'm like, "No,
And then turn
no, I think it's the wind." He's like, "No, there's no fucking way." I'm like, "No, I think it is. I think it's the wind. I think the wind is blowing so hard you can't open the door." He eventually got the door open, and I tell you what, I thought it was gonna fly off the hinges when he lets go of the door and it slams. And I was like, "Fuck!" Like.
Yup.
That's when I told him to pick up the little like the plug AC adapter that lets you plug it into the cigarette lighter. Like I was like, we have to have all our electronic devices charged. Like let's do the whole thing. And like we were getting 35. The weather app on top of us was saying 35, 45 mile an hour gust of winds. And I need to reiterate, we were 300 miles inland to the west of the coast, traveling through Pennsylvania, way away from what everyone was getting majorly hit with Sandy with. Like we were on the outside of Sandy, and it was crazy bad.
Yeah.
And then I got to come home to South Carolina and go to LARP with a whole bunch of conservative players, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, Sandy wasn't that bad." I'm like, "Fuck you, Sandy was bad. You just weren't in it." "Oh yeah, we got rain. Rain wasn't that bad." Like, yeah, no.
You're several states away from where it was bad. Yeah. That's like people up in Canada going, "Oh yeah, you know, those hurricanes, they're not that tough."
Yeah.
Sometimes get some wind. You're in a different country.
Somebody
You're
in
on
the
the same continent.
Somebody in the Midwest says that about hurricanes. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? Tornadoes, not that bad." Yeah.
We get those sometimes. We go outside to look at them.
I wish
do
that
y'all
was still true, but we actually in South Carolina we get more tornadoes than we used to, and they do things, and I'm not okay.
Yeah. Oh.
But even getting like, what would you say, 4 times as many tornadoes as growing up? But like, it's still nothing compared to the Midwest.
Oh yeah. Well, we get tornadoes every year now, versus some years we didn't.
keep right, and then exit right.
Keep right and then exit right.
Exit
Oh, there were enough lights on this exit that I was looking at going, those aren't blocked exit signs, are they? Because fuck that noise, I hate
Get
that.
ready to turn
Oh,
I
the
mean-
markers, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be all like, construction, guess what? This ramp is closed. God damn it.
turn
If I had Waze, I would have known. I could have set a different route. But yeah, Cult of the Lamb was really fun. It is second place in the poll, which is why I'm up for the Horror Elements poll. For anybody who's watching live, that's exclamation point vote in the chat to determine actively, in the active poll, in the new poll, what games I'll be playing on stream. Did you vote, Captain Soja?
I did earlier today before I went to work.
Oh, that's where that new vote came from. Alright. Oh, hey, somebody did it. Nightbot. I can't see who because I am in a curve and a
That was me.
guardrail. Oh, that's you? Okay. There you go. For anybody in chat who has not yet voted, please consider doing so. I'm doing this new thing where I am copy and pasting the results daily into a different spreadsheet because I just keep adding data and data on top of it. And what this is allowing me to do is to make a very nice, more sleek line graph than the ones I've been showing off at the end of the poll completion, because I'm getting enough days in that enough people are voting, we'll say early and often. Well, often might be pushing it. Early at the same rate as usual. And it's letting, like, no, I just like the little line graph. It's like, yeah, this is where the voting happened, and I will be removing games from the poll if I actually get them completed, but that hasn't happened yet. Oh, speaking of which, not that I probably need to, but apologies for not getting your damn game collection back to you yet.
Oh, Sly Cooper?
Yeah,
you're
it's
good.
I got mentally distracted by, like, Daniel was like, please get this game back to me. He's got, like, Daniel doesn't have anxiety about, like, almost anything, but about letting people borrow stuff, he has massive anxiety. Like, it's very clearly very troubling to him. So I was like, let me finish up Spider-Man. I need to do that so I can get it back to him. And then when I did that, I picked up Spider-Man, and underneath it was Sly Cooper, and I stared. I was like, Sly Cooper, why haven't you gone home? Oh, I didn't Platinum 3. Oh, shit. And then I found out that there was, like, a 4th game on it. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was a hell of a deal on that collection. I think I got it. I bought it when I bought my PS3, and I think it was like $20 because it was like a Black Friday deal or whatever. And I was like, okay.
Dirty Jar of Sam says they will vote. Very much thank you for voting. If you do, also consider following the channel if you haven't already. You'll get notified when I go live, and it might be for a game you voted for me to play in the poll. There you go. Yeah, there's a mini game collection on that disc that I didn't know was there.
Really? I know there's many games on it.
Yeah, you know why you didn't know and why I didn't know?
Oh.
You need a Move controller.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like, well, someday, if I ever, find a Move controller in a ditch like we used to find Game Boys, like, maybe I'll borrow it again. But right now, I'm just planning on Platinuming 3 because I don't even know anybody with a Move controller.
Probably Jeff.
Oh, yeah. But his shit's in storage, though.
Yeah. He's living in that.
Do you know how he's doing? I actually meant to ask the other day because I was just thinking about, like, I only today kind of started taking the brace off my leg from helping him move. Because apparently my genetics are getting worse with time.
No, I haven't heard anything from him since he had to put his dog down.
Oh, yeah.
I know that must have hit hard because that was his mom's dog. So.
I mean, we saw that dog. That dog was falling apart at the seams, but at the same time, like, he just lost his home and was gonna live in a truck with a dog and 2 dogs, right?
2 dogs, because he took in a stray a couple of months ago. So now he's just got the stray, and I think he's living in a camper by his work.
Yeah,
at the graveyard.
Yeah.
He lives at the graveyard.
He's living his best life. That's what he wants to do right now. It's not like he has doesn't have the money to, like, get a place. He's
trying to save up because he wants to be able to buy a permanent place instead of just rent.
And I get that, and we had a conversation. I don't know if you had the same conversation where he was like, "So what do you think, Hunterman?" I don't think he actually said Hunterman. He probably said Tyler. But do you think I'm being stupid? I'm like, Jeff, you are a grown adult. Like, you're doing whatever you're doing. Would I do what you're doing? I've thought about it, but you know what? It requires on my part more income, and I don't have that, and you do. And this is something you've wanted to try. And it's not like...
I wanted to go nomad, so...
Yeah, you've got like 6 or 7 people who are like, "No, man, you could stay in my guest room, so you're good." Like, I don't have that anymore.
Fall back, yeah.
I used to be able to fall back to the grandparents' house. Grandparents' house is gone. I used to be able to fall back to roommates in Columbia. Roommates took in a roommate and have no space. So I have no fallback plan. I am stuck in this room with a transphobe living upstairs. Like, that's what I got right now.
Yeah.
So you got plenty of fallback. If you decide after a week, you're like, "No, fuck this shit." Well, people are not going to be like, "Well, I asked you last week." Like, that's not going to happen. You're going to be okay. You have places to go.
Speaking of the old roommates, Velvet apparently decided to go ahead and get me my Yule gifts this year, and...
Did she get you way more than you were expecting? Because she got me way more than I was expecting.
Yeah, did she win the lottery? Like...
I don't know. I mean, she did get out of a terrible marriage.
That's true.
I don't know how that. I don't know how. Like, he seemed like the kind of guy who was maybe wasting her money. If I'm being totally
He
honest.
was. I'm sure he was. I mean, she was putting him through college.
Oh
The
God.
agreement that he would help put her through college when he got done, and then he got done and went, "Hey, I've been talking to somebody else. I want a divorce." So
Yeah, and I mean,
really sucks for her. But yeah, no, she's got me. I still have more stuff coming in apparently.
oh geez, I don't think I have more stuff coming in, but I got 4 games. You know, my Steam wish list is not full of expensive games, but there was one expensive game on it, and she got it, and it wasn't on sale, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you so much. Also, I have work ahead of me because now I have access to the newest version of RPG Maker. I'm like, oh, way to go, Hunterman. You were putting that off to see if somebody would buy it for you because you were like, oh, I don't have to learn JavaScript right now because I don't even own the product to make the thing with. It's fine. No, now you have to get off your ass and make a game.
RPG Maker is legit, I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, RPG Maker has been kind of like a decent standard for a long. In fact, I think Undertale has made an RPG Maker, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was, yeah.
I mean, heavily
Couple of
modified,
couple of,
which
like,
is what I'd be
big
doing with the
games
JavaScripting.
Yeah. Yeah, like yesterday I came home and I had a package and it was
Keep right, and then
a
exit.
mold I'd been looking at and I'd like just added to my Amazon wish list because I was like, oh, that'd be super cool. I want to mess with that. And then today I came home and even more stuff. So I got like new vise, a drill press, and some wood for handles.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was under the impression that she was, you know, having tougher money because she put all of it into the move, but I don't even remember what job she's actually working. Oop. Hello? I can only assume he is answering a family member of something because he went deathly silent. It was very distracting.
Get ready to turn left.
I'm not certain why we were traveling through Pleven, but we are.
Turn left. Get ready.
I can definitely tell I'm getting 2/3 of my frames over here for some reason.
Turn right.
Oh, I have a green light. Don't mind if I do.
Keep left, and then turn left.
And now I have a red light.
Turn left.
And also I've got to figure out how to get, like, games into my schedule to, like, play on stream. I think, planning ahead, I'm assuming that Captain Soja can kind of hear me in the background somewhere. But for anybody watching on stream... Wait, hold on. I missed Ratchet saying, well, I have 2. You have 2 what, Ratchet? If you're still there. I missed that. So the next poll after the existing poll is going to be the big user pick poll, which for anybody unaware is going to be a giant poll comprised mostly of games suggested by viewers such as yourself. Like in the current poll, there is a blank for you to be able to suggest a game you want to see me play on stream, as there are in pretty much every poll that I run. And those games show up in whatever polls I feel like they apply to, but if they don't seem to fit any other poll, then they will at least show up in the user pick poll, which I'm going to be trying to do twice a year at this point. I'm going to be doing it in the month of November is the plan.
Go straight on.
And, well, that's going to be that. But what that's going to be is every game suggested all the way back to September 2021, last year's Horror Elements poll. And it's also going to be comprised of the first 3 positions that haven't been finished or completed in every poll since I started polling to a maximum of 6 games. So what that basically amounts to is if a game has 3 positions and there's a game in each of the 3 positions, then first, second, and third, then I will be putting that game onto the poll. Otherwise, there's at least one poll in which basically there's like, it was a very small poll where there's like 2 first places, 2 second places, and then like 8 third places and like a spattering of fourth places because there almost nobody voted on the poll and it was a multi-pick poll. And that's going to result in just picking the 2 first and the 2 second places. And then, of course, any game that I actually have finished and or completed can be removed from the running. But basically, it's a way of doing runner-up additions to the poll because basically my determination has been that the... Ratchet says PlayStation Move control. Oh, you have 2 PlayStation Move controllers, Ratchet? Do you need them both for anything? It's going to result in... Because I basically determined that games that have been winning in the poll but not getting played because they're in second, third, or fourth place or what have you are essentially like a user pick, and it's a way of not missing out on games that people have previously selected that basically gives me an opportunity to give them another chance. Hello, Gaffer! Wow, number of viewers tonight. A Gaffer who I believe has already voted in the current poll. Oh, and as a reminder, I believe it said on stream when I started the recording for this YouTube clip, but this game did win last month's birthday month poll for this month. So this is a poll winner that I am playing right now. In fact, Euro Truck Simulator 2 has been in 7 polls. It has made first place in those polls 4 times, and then also made second and third place. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Hold on, that doesn't math. It's won 5 times, so 5 to 3. So 3 first places, a second, and a third place showing out of the 7 polls that this game has been in. Ratchet says, I use one for the rare occasion I play PlayStation Move Heroes. Right.
Alright. Sorry about that. Got called away.
I don't know if you could hear me, but I just went off talking about I figured it out. I figured out how to make user pick make sense as a poll. I'm just going to add Roman numerals.
Get ready.
So user pick 3 is this November.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I figure it'll give people the opportunity... Whoa, I'm not turning somewhere. Whoa, I can't see. It's amazing. Captain Soja came back and immediately my quality of driving decreased. I don't blame Soja for that. Let me double check the map though. Is this the last rest area for a little while? Is that a rest area? That's a rest area. I got at least one more I can go to. So yeah. So this upcoming, you know how the user pick poll is all of the games suggested by viewers, but I've expanded it slightly this next time. So it's also going to include the top 3 games from every previous poll that haven't been finished or completed, but that got good votes, up to 6 games, because you know there's some occasions where there will be ties, especially in the early days of the poll. But those games will all end up on the poll. So it's like an expansion to the user pick, because those are all games like Knights of the Old Republic won, I think, second place 2 consecutive polls. That's just unfair. I just didn't get to it, you know? Lost Odyssey, I think, made 3rd place. That would mean that every user pick poll, even if Molly doesn't suggest it, it would show up on the poll. Oh, and Ratchet, and you missed...
Yeah. I started that and didn't get past the first disc.
Well, it's her favorite JRPG of all time, and she has suggested I play it, and I was like... And I even asked her, I was like, Molly, can I borrow your copy if I end up playing it on stream? She was like, oh, yeah, absolutely, yes, I want to see somebody else play it. And kind of like me with Disgaea, like, nobody voting for it. Having said that, Disgaea, rolling in some points right now. I think it's in 3rd place in the current poll.
Oh, nice.
This is the best it's ever done in a poll. Considering I started playing it without getting polled.
I was gonna say, Disgaea is a fun game, but it can be such a slog to watch.
It certainly
and
can.
twice outside.
Yeah, my intention, hopefully, if anybody is watching it later on the YouTubes, is I'm gonna have episodes labeled as item dive, so that the people will know when I am attempting a story map or not.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, the recording will say probably like an hour to 3 hours or something like that. Okay, can I skip this one? I can skip this one, but I probably can't skip the next one. How far did I make? How did I? How much did I pause that in 45 minutes I've only made it 500 kilometers? That doesn't seem right. I mean, there's been a lot of like you know, smaller roads, but what were we talking about before? I mean, there was Cult of the Lamb, which I'm greatly enjoying, and is fun. I believe second place in the current poll, and was second place in the last poll. So, if nothing else, it is the top non-multiplayer winner of the last poll. So I will definitely be trying to go through it because it's the last poll's winner, but it's not technically October yet. So, but that last poll, I guess I've learned my lesson. Nobody who watches me wants to see me play horror games. That's what I've come to understand. Because I think everybody thought that the last poll was horror games, and I kept going, guys, seriously, it's a lot of games, and like a tenth of them are actual horror games.
Yep.
But 12 days without voting, I was just like, you know, this happens near the end of a poll, but right now I'm like, it just feels like spinning wheels. I think the victory is set. Let me just start up a little poll, what I call an active poll, that's just about what games I'll be playing on stream right now. And I only put on games for completion, which also leaves me room for possibly on October 21st spending a little bit more of that birthday money and picking up Gotham Knights, which I might do. And do it as a midnight run, which I haven't done in a while. I didn't immediately miss my rest turn, did I? I don't see it on the map anymore.
But yeah, if we can get a group together, I'll totally pick up Phasmophobia
Alright,
and
well,
play with.
definitely on the list. What are your most free days? The problem is right now, 2 players, Cody the Kingslayer and 2Ply Shy, they do Mad World stuff, which I believe means that their Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are occupied. And that's when other people are off. I'd like to have at least 2 other people to do a recording, even though the game goes to 4 players.
Monday night works great for me because I'm off on Tuesday. Or I can, do Tuesday during the day, and as long as we wrap up before, like, I'll say 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm good most days after work.
Yeah, that's...
I usually get home about 8 or so.
I'm very privileged to be in a situation where I've been in a roleplay group that has met either almost every Sunday or almost every Saturday, like depending on job setups, for like 3 years now, which ties my own game for longest running game. Alright, I am getting some rest. Oh, and speaking of, I think I'll have to snip it here for anybody watching later on YouTube. Oops, I have to use Alt with the button. This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2, presented by Improvision Entertainment. I have been Huntermun.
I'm Captain Soja.
And we will see you in the future.